Good morning. It's almost 4:30 here at the Glacier Gorge trailhead in Rocky Mountain National Park. So I actually got up here almost 2 hours ago at like 2:30, thinking that parking would be an issue because it's a Saturday in August. But nah, I could have got up here right now and been fine and gotten an extra 2 hours of sleep instead. But oh well. I tried to get a few Z's here in the car unsuccessfully, but it's just how it goes sometimes. And I know once I start getting hiking here, yeah, it'll be good. And then I'll crash tonight. So, but yeah, so the goal today is McHenrys Peak, which is a 13er here in the park, and supposed to be one of the, or even the hardest non-technical peak in the park to climb. So we'll see. I think I can pull it off safely. If I can't, I'll get a great hike through Glacier Gorge anyways, which is one of the most spectacular areas in the park that I haven't actually been to yet. I've seen it from above, from Lawns Peak, but this will be my first time actually going through it. So either way, I'm excited about that, and just gonna get moving. Beautiful morning, a lot of water rushing past, and just a really nice temperature for hiking at the moment. The advantage of going into this area is that since it's the most popular area in one of the most popular parks, the trail is super well maintained and I can just crush the miles. Of course, the disadvantage is that on the way back, it'll be a zoo, but that's fine. I'm definitely enjoying the pre-dawn morning hiking right now. It's really beautiful. All right, I've reached Mills Lake and it's still pre-dawn, so camera isn't going to capture this super well, but I am already basking in how spectacular this is. Very cool. Up that way, I believe that big lump there, that's Lawns Peak. And the views are just going to get better as we keep going. Okay, made it to Black Lake. Geez, every step in the last mile or so has just been super cool, super spectacular. So McHenrys is right there, and so that's the target. So we're gonna sort of weave around that way where the trail is, and then at some point it's gonna taper out up into more of a Talus-y scramble. So Very cool. Onwards and upwards. Above tree line now, so what we're looking at here, that tiny little pillar I just covered up with my finger, that's called the Stone Man, and then to the right of it is Stone Man Pass. So the pass is the standard route, but it's kind of snowed in, and I've heard you can actually scramble up to the Stone Man itself, and then from there I'll be dropping down on the other side and then up to the summit. I've definitely been going probably slower than I should be because I just can't help myself and gawk at these spectacular views. This has to be one of the most spectacular places I've ever been to. So very cool, but gonna try to pick up the pace. Starting to get high up, and you can see this spot really holds a lot of snow. Definitely better done in September, I think, but there's the Stone Man right there, so hopefully I can kind of avoid these snow fields, but we'll see. About 1,200 more vertical feet to the summit, but it's gonna take a bit. Just to give you an idea of what I'm climbing up here, pretty solid class 3 hands and feet, but it's been a lot of fun, and the views just keep improving. All right, now coming over to the other side. Very cool new view to be introduced to, and there's the target. It looks like a pretty gnarly ways up there, but yeah, the online trip report says that it can be kept at class 3, so we're gonna go onwards and find out if that's the case. Okay, starting to come out of the boulder field back there, which is pretty solid, honestly. Not many loose boulders, which is really nice. And now heading up into the real cliffy, solid class 3 stuff. Okay, rounded the corner here to what I believe is the last real pitch before the summit. Summit might be a little bit behind there, but only about 300 feet. And voila, the summit. Spectacular views. How many times have I said spectacular views in these videos? But it's true every time, I tell you. Very, very cool. Okay, very cool. Very, very fun climb. That scrambling, that class 3 stuff was a lot of fun to get up here. It's always not quite as fun going down, but I enjoyed it going up. A nice little challenge that was not too sketchy by any stretch. But man, yeah, very cool to be up here, have it all to myself for the moment. There's another guy coming. He actually came from the other direction, so he was coming this guy, and he's doing this giant circuit. Basically came up from one of the peaks in there, came over to Powell, and then is going all the way over to Lawns, and then hitting a few of those couple other ones, and just like, man. I brought this up a few times, so I think I need a name for it. I think I'm gonna call it, at least for now, the Colorado Crazy Rule, which means if you think you're doing something crazy in Colorado, there is always somebody doing something crazier than you are. But yeah, so now I have a shorthand for it, I guess. But I really probably shouldn't stay too long up here, because these cumulus clouds are already starting to build pretty early, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll see. This doing that scrambling on wet rock, no way. So take a couple more minutes, get some more food, and just probably pack it out of here. Okay, starting to head down. Stayed up a little longer than planned, because I actually ran into a guy. A guy came up from the other way, and he's another guy who's doing this ridiculous circuit around a bunch of the peaks in here. But he said that there was not going to be storms until like 3 p.m. or something. So I don't know. I ended up chatting with him for a little bit, and I mean, it's not like I've heard thunder and lightning or anything, but we'll see. Just keep her moving and enjoy the rest of this scrambling that I've got still ahead of me. All right, there's McHenrys back there. So I'm back at Stoneman Pass here, and have to make a decision as to whether I continue down this stuff, which is going to be class 2, but still kind of messy, versus continuing back from where I came over there, which is going to be class 3. And I felt a little bit of drizzle here, so I'm sitting here talking to you and using up more time to think about it. But I think I'm gonna go down the Scully. So I'm a little, if things start getting wet, I feel a little safer down there than what I was doing over there with the scrambling on that hard rock. So yeah, okay. Okay, finally, that should be the class 3 stuff done. Because of this big old snowbank here, I had to sort of follow this route down, so it ended up being class 3 anyways, but I think it was still a little quicker, so I'm happy I did it. A little fear of the Lord kicked into me there when I felt that drizzle. I was like, oh boy. But has not drizzled since, so rest of my route, you can kind of see. I'm gonna go back to the base of that guy, which is called the Spearhead. And then the trail should reappear, so yeah, hoping for no more rain or any chance of storms. So 15 seconds after I cut recording, I heard thunder from right over there, of course, but I think I'll be okay by this point. Not really on any exposed ridges or anything, so not insane danger. A little fast. Okay, now many parts of me are numb. That should not be numb in August. So that is what's going on to the north. So once again, I am getting pretty fortunate. The only real complaint I have is the mosquitoes are just terrible. Rodents of unusual size? I don't believe they exist. All right, last good look of Powell Peak, or McHenrys Peak, all the way out there. Yeah, man, I mean, the camera doesn't capture it, but it's hard to believe that it's all the way up there. It's really, I mean, sort of elevation profile from the lake is really quite stunning. So, yep, now just to hike out on a much better maintained trail. Glacier Gorge, McHenrys Peak, got to be one of the most spectacular places I've been. I feel like I say that in every one of these videos, But I really mean it this time. That was like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of the Wind River Range in Wyoming. I mean, it's as good as the absolute best spots in the Wind River Range. But much more popular, but much more accessible. I could just come up here for the day and just bask in this spectacular scenery. So very, very cool. Yeah, great hike, a lot of fun scrambling. A few of the down climbs there were, you know, a tad spicy. Had to really take my time with them. But yeah, I feel like I'm improving on that sort of thing too, because I was definitely, you know, even worse and maybe slower at it before. But yeah, and of course the zoo of people coming out. This is one of the most popular national parks. So yeah, anyways, not much more to say. Just great, just beautiful Saturday outing. So thanks for tagging along.